Welcome to another edition of the Maplewood Middle School Cougar Chronicles. After all of the months of work and planning, in just over a week, on Tuesday, the 19th of January, we will be welcoming our first cohort of in-person sixth graders to Maplewood Middle School, and your teachers are hard at work preparing for that. I want to highlight a few really important things about school reopening. And then the second half, I certainly want to talk about the events that have taken place in our country and just all that is going on, and really want to highlight our students. Want to end with that. So in terms of reopening, it is very important that if your family has decided to send Maplewood Middle School students back in person, that you complete the COVID agreement letter, which is in Power School under forms. In order to be able to return to the building, you must complete that form, and that is in Power School and is only being accepted in Power School. So please get that done. That is due Tuesday, January 12th. There's been a lot of district communication, so I just want to highlight a couple of things that to bring to your attention that you may not have seen. Wednesday, January 13th, so in just a couple of days, is a fully asynchronous day for Maplewood Middle School and for a number of schools in the district. That is the day that our staff come back for the first time in quite some time. And so they will be using that day to make sure they're preparing their learning spaces and getting ready and understanding all of the protocols for having students back in the building and having staff back in the building. So again, the 13th is an asynchronous day. We also want to highlight the things that your children can be doing if they're planning to come back in person, and really good practice whether you're coming back or not. It's very important to maintain physical distancing, to not socialize and convene, to wear your mask, and to practice hand washing and just good hand hygiene, and to not touch your face. And if you are coming back in person, we urge you to take a look at the flyers that we put together for Maplewood Middle School, reminding you what you can do to get yourself ready. You should definitely be planning to pack your bag that you need to have with you to have those materials that you'll be carrying around in the building, because you will not have a backpack or use a locker if you're coming in person. We will highlight more of those things, but I just wanted to make sure that we started out by those reminders. That'll be really important for us to all be on the same page and to have a successful reopening. And I want to end with, I did send out email communication, but this is the first time I've gotten to do a video since the terrorist attacks, the white supremacy events that took place on January 6th at our Capitol building. And I really want to commend our faculty and staff for the way in which they stepped up to make space for kids to learn a little bit, have some context, and also just process the events of that day. We came back to school and made that space for our kids, because that's who we are at Maplewood Middle School, and that's what we believe is important. It is so very important to highlight student voices, and I thought I would end with that. Our students know that we have work to do in this country, and they know that we are not treating people the same way in law enforcement and otherwise when they are Black versus when they are white, and they are speaking out about it, and our students want that to change. And so I thought I would end with some of what, bear with me while I look away from the screen. We had a school-wide Padlet, and we had a number of students speak about their opinions on the matter. One student wrote, "What happened yesterday was basically terrorism, honestly." Another student wrote, "Nobody in the world should have to go through something like this. It was embarrassing and disrespectful. I think that people are crazy. They were rioters. They need to get a hold of themselves, and they need to treat people the way they want other people to be treated." One student wrote, "This was white supremacy. Honestly, that statement says it all. We need to defund the police and jail white terrorists instead of letting them run around. The way that Trump reacted was disappointing, and he encouraged his supporters shows that his intentions were never good." Another student wrote, "It's absolutely insane that peaceful protesters were tear gassed, had rubber bullets shot at them, and were arrested for protesting police brutality and years of oppression. Now a group of rioters who held Confederate flags made their way into one of the most heavily secured buildings. The police basically let them in and took selfies with them, and then the president encouraged it." And I could go on. There were quite a few students who spoke on the Padlet, who wrote on the Padlet, and it will remain open as another place for them to keep talking about what is going on. And I'm encouraged that kids see the issues and that they want to be part of the solution and disrupt it. So I know that was a lot. This is a longer video than I usually put out there, but it's because so much has been going on. Of course, we are focused on reopening, but we are focused on these opportunities to learn. We don't ever want to waste a moment to learn, to challenge our students to make the world a better place. And they can do that locally. And that starts with dialogue. That starts with making their voices heard. And again, I want to highlight them because we will always highlight our students and elevate their voice. I really want to thank our faculty and staff for their really great work. Thank you, parents and families, for the emails thanking our teachers because they really did handle it with all the skill that I knew that they would. And I'm proud to work here, and I'm proud of our teachers. You'll hear more from me in the coming weeks and in the coming days about reopening. Have a great week, Maplewood Middle.